Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. And our top story today, planning for international travel in 2022. Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Sandy Sale. She's the president and founder of Hills of Africa Travel. Sandy, it's great to see you again. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Great, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me. I just got back from Africa, so my head is spinning and I feel like I should still be in Africa, but very happy to be home.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the Omicron variant in a second, but let's just talk more broadly. When you were last on the program several months ago, international travel had been stunted. It had been stymied because of the pandemic. Have things started prior to Omicron? Have things started to pick back up for you, your clients, people out there traveling abroad, specifically to Africa?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been very, very fortunate. Certainly whilst I was away, my team worked very, very hard. And I think we had 3 or 4 bookings whilst I was away where they traveled within the time frame I was away. So from the time of getting in touch with my team to actually traveling, they have done all of that within 5 weeks and are now back home. So we've had a lot of immediate bookings. We've almost done our 2019 sales for 2021. So very proud to say that Africa is definitely on people's minds. You're in open environments. I know we talked about this before. You're in open environments. The rate of having got your vaccines, certainly within the tourism industry, every single person in Africa that works in the tourism industry is vaccinated. So that puts a huge, level of de-stress on the clients where they actually feel, gosh, I feel safe. And Victoria Falls, for example, is 94% vaccinated in the population, let alone the actual people working in tourism. So yes, there's this horrible new variant, which unfortunately is being called the South Africa variant, even though it didn't come from South Africa. It just happened to be diagnosed by the scientists there. But, everyone will get through it. And I do think we're still getting inquiries. Even today, we've got a few new inquiries. So let's just hope it's something very quick and, just keep on top of things, really, to protect our clients.
Yeah, I'm really happy that your business has rebounded and people are traveling. When you talk to customers, are people thinking about traveling internationally, specifically to Africa, the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, the end of the year? How are the trips looking now in terms of timing?
we had a lot of bookings for November. We've got 3 or 4 for December, a few early January and February, and then a lot from March onwards. I think I was looking at our August calendar and we have 30 trips for August planned for next year. So that's a lot for a small business like ours. So, we need to prepare. I think we're in hiring mode so that we can get new people to look after our clients for next year.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's a good place to be. I mean, you want to be a growing business, not contracting business.
Absolutely, I'm thrilled. Absolutely.
I mean, you didn't get in business not to do business. I mean, that right? I mean, that at the end of the day, and it's great that things have rebounded. Sandy, just more generally, you mentioned the vaccines. People have been vaccinated more than several months ago when we last spoke. Is traveling internationally is it risk-free as it was, or are there still risks associated? When I say risks, I'm not talking about death and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the risks of contracting COVID, the risks of having a respiratory disease, something like that.
Absolutely. I mean, you can never guarantee it from our point of view. We would never say to clients, you are safe as anything, because none of us can predict that. Unfortunately, we are doing everything we can. Obviously, when you travel to Africa, you need a PCR to get into Africa. In some cases, Zimbabwe is 48 hours from time of from time of departure. Kenya and South Africa is 72 hours. Tanzania has a stipulation as well. So there are, rules that you have to abide by, PCR. In some instances, if you're traveling via road from one country to another country, even though it is a little bit difficult for us to ask, it's important for us to ask. You are required to show your vaccination card. So some countries are requiring it. If you're going from one country, South Africa, for example, into Zimbabwe to go and see Victoria Falls, you need a PCR. So literally I did 3 back-to-back trips in the last 6 weeks. We did South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and then back to Zimbabwe. I think I had 8 PCRs in 6 weeks. But again, very easy to do. Zimbabwe, the results come back in 2 hours. Namibia, the results were within 4 hours. I had to get, one of our people had to have a PCR and then decided, no, they want an antigen. So then I had to get a PCR instead. It's very quick and they are on the ball. They realize that travel and tourism to Africa is so important. So they've got these stations everywhere where you can go and get PCR. And one thing I do want to point out, which I noticed this travel time, because I did go back in June, is that all the PCRs now have a QR code on them. So it's unlikely and not going to happen that you can, fake your PCR. I've heard of people doing this and it's not going to happen because now everything has a QR code. So the airlines check it, the immigration people check it, everyone is checking it. So it's really important, to abide by the rules. And the more you abide by the rules, the safer we are all going to be in the long term.
Yep. And you don't want to wind up in COVID jail or jail. We've read many stories about fakes, vaccination cards, et cetera. Well, Sandy, I need to take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll talk with Sandy about planning for contingencies if you plan to travel international. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-504-8194.
Welcome back. We're talking this morning to Sandy Sale. She's the president and founder of Hills of Africa Travel. Sandy, thanks so much for staying with us this morning.
Loving it. It's fun to talk about travel and let's just hope everything gets better.
Absolutely. And I should add, Sandy has racked up some frequent flyer miles over the past several months, and she just got back from South Africa. Let's talk about some of the latest news. I know when we in the green room before we were going to go live, Sandy, you mentioned that airlines are still flying to and from Africa. So people, travelers, I guess going back to the States or going back to other countries, still have access to get out of Dodge if they have to get out.
Absolutely. You know, British Airways and Virgin, they did announce very quickly that they were not traveling or coming back from South Africa with passengers. They're still doing cargo flights, but they weren't coming. They were banning all flights from Africa. They just announced that they're going to resume flights on the 5th of December. So that's a good sign. Delta, as far as I know, we've got clients that are in Africa right now. They're actually flying to Safari tomorrow. They've been in Cape Town and they've been on the coast in the Whale Coast, Hermanus, and they're flying to Safari tomorrow. Obviously, Safari is one of the highlights of going to Africa, so we don't want them to miss that. And they're due to fly back on the 4th on Delta from Johannesburg to Atlanta on the direct flight. And as far as we know, we're checking daily, we're checking hourly. Sam in our office literally is a flight observer. And that is still operating. United is still operating with direct flights to Africa. So, you know, I mean, there are other airlines, for example, Qatar. My father-in-law is flying to Zimbabwe on Qatar, and he leaves on the 8th of December, and they have announced that they are flying to Africa. So, you know, we just have to keep ahead of times, and we have to make sure that we're looking after the clients by checking regularly and making them feel comfortable and safe. And, you know, like someone needs to look after clients, and that's our mission, is to make sure that our clients feel like they have someone looking after them.
Sandy, an out of the blue question, because I just don't know. What's the climate like this time of year in South Africa? So here, you're living in North Carolina. It's cold. It's like 30 degrees when I woke up this morning. And this is the time for respiratory illnesses here in the U.S., generally with flu. But what is the temperature like? You know, they say the summer months are better. Is it warmer in parts of South Africa right now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, much, much warmer. I was in tank tops and running clothes most of the time. I've been in Africa for 6 weeks. Yes, much, much warmer, probably in, 85 to 110 in some instances. Victoria Falls is more in the hundreds. So it's very warm climate at this time of year. Certainly we know from the States, the more cold it gets, the more likelihood of having flu and ear infections and that kind of thing, sinus infections. So it's minimal in Africa right now. Obviously, this variant was found in Africa. I think it came from somewhere else, and the scientists are pretty adamant and that it's not going to get big, but we don't know. We can't predict this kind of thing. So let's just hope that the climate in Africa is going to be helpful and this doesn't spread around the world too fast and too severely.
Sandy, let's just talk in general about contingencies. What do clients of your organization and just people traveling internationally, what do they need to have contingencies based on? Like, for example, should they plan on an extended hotel stay potentially? I just want to make sure that people have the right expectations. If it's okay to go away, you follow the rules as they're laid out, but you should have a plan if things kind of go askew, and that's a possibility.
Yeah, well, first of all, I would highly recommend that anyone traveling these days hires a travel advisor to be on your side. You need to have be well looked after and have someone that has your back the whole time, checking on things for you and making sure that you are well looked after. A lot of the certainly with Africa, there are hotels that have, one of my friends who lives in Victoria Falls, her bed and breakfast has been turned into a quarantine center. So they're good, they're safe, you get well looked after. Luckily, none of our clients this year have had to utilize it, but there are places like this. So if you were to have to stay, then your travel advisor can help you organize all of this and make sure that you aren't stressed and, you just get to your quarantine place. Highly recommend travel insurance. There's a new product that's come out. I can't remember the exact, but I think it's called Kovac, and it is a COVID insurance whereby, say you got sick with COVID in a country, it's kind of like a MedJet assist where an aircraft will fly out to wherever you are, pick you up and fly you back to your home country. So it's pretty expensive, but absolutely worth it if you're a little bit panicked. So making sure that you have someone looking after you, insurance, and I don't know, just going with the right frame of mind. And, as I said, I took 36 people over the last 6 weeks to Africa, and not one of us tested positive. Having said that, other people do. So just making sure that you're looking after yourself.
Yeah, really. And I totally agree with you. And I think just having the right expectations and the right mindset can really reduce your stress level and actually keep you healthy. I've got about a minute left, Sandy. Let's just remind people the beauty of Africa. What do people get to see when they travel to that great continent? Your clients, what do they get to see?
I'll just share a few things from my recent trip. We were in Kruger National Park in South Africa. We got to see elephants playing around in the mud. We got to witness the sun going down with lions on a buffalo kill. We were in Namibia, and our guide shared with us that we were on the Skeleton Coast, which is in the northwest region of Namibia. 350 miles, we were the only people on the beach. So if you're thinking about being in the middle of nowhere, somewhere fresh, open air experiences, you can't get better than Africa. You are literally in the middle of nowhere, but you have these amazing experiences of animals and, tracking black rhino, which is one of the rarest species and very endangered. So you're privileged, you get to experience being outside, and the people of Africa, biggest smiles in the world. Let's try and help them.
Absolutely. And I think, to me, it's all about the culture, learning new cultures and meeting new people. Sandy, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for the download and great information. And we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Oh, thank you so very much. So wonderful to be with you again. Keep safe, keep cheering and plugging along for everyone. You do such a great job. Thank you so very much.
That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the information and news all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to check out all of our content? Search our archives, visit our partners, Roku, Samsung, Amazon, and over 100 different streaming and smart TV platforms. We're back again tomorrow. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the team.
But if you're tired of the same old stuff,
now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the First Lifestyle and Wellness Network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.
Are you being audited, and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a tax doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.